What's up, Bills Mafia? The Buffalo Bills have a chance to clinch the playoffs this weekend, but we need a little bit of help. And I also got your stock up and stock down following the Bills' win over the Chargers this past Saturday night. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is VZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Well, Bills Mafia, the Buffalo Bills have a chance to clinch a playoff spot this week. Week 17, that is. And I'll go through that in a little bit on what needs to happen for the Buffalo Bills to clinch a spot this postseason in the NFL and the playoffs. So, man, I can't believe that we are fighting for our lives here to get into the playoffs, but it is what it is. The Bills put themselves in this situation, and now they are digging themselves out and making what could be an epic run to the Super Bowl. And listen, right now the AFC is wide open, guys. I understand Baltimore is looking good, but they're beatable. We've seen teams beat them. We know how to beat them. We've played Lamar Jackson very well, as you guys know, in the playoffs a few years back. So, yes, their defense is a little bit scary right now. But once again, man, if we're clicking on all cylinders, playing the right way, we could beat any team, any day. So that's how I see it. But what team are you getting, right, when it comes to the Buffalo Bills? That's the question. And that's the one that has everyone scratching their head. Like, going from a 31-10 win over the Dallas Cowboys to barely beating the Los Angeles Chargers 24-22. It's sometimes it's mind-boggling. Sometimes it's, just head scratching, whatever you want to call it. And it's tough to predict week in, week out when it comes to this team. I thought we were going to blow the Chargers out by at least, 20-something points. And we were in a dogfight all the way up until the last minute of the ball game. So, this team is so confusing this year, guys. I will tell you this as well, too. Kaiir Elam, they went ahead and activated Kaiir Elam today. So he is officially off the IR. So he is on the 53 now. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Daquan Jones, who I believe will be activated by next week. I think he'll play in that Dolphin game. Some people think that he was going to play this coming up Sunday versus the Patriots. I don't think so. I think you see him versus the Dolphins, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe you see him this Sunday against the Patriots. Maybe he gets some playing time, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so, guys, let's start with the stock up, stock down. And let's get to that now. Sorry, guys. All right, stock up, stock down, following the Bills' win over the Chargers. Let's get to it. Once again, shout out to Bills Wire for creating this article. Okay, first up. Stock up, wide receiver Gabe Davis. After 2 straight weeks of putting up donuts in the receiving yards department, Davis showed up in a huge way on Saturday for the Bills. With Buffalo's playoff hopes on the line for the rest of the season, Davis caught 4 of 6 targets for 130 yards, 32.5 yards per reception, and 1 touchdown, while putting his big game ability on full display. And that's, man, he's another guy. It's just like, you don't know where you're going to get. Like, It's not consistent enough. It's like the Buffalo. Gabe Davis is the Buffalo Bills this season, right? Like, very inconsistent. You have no idea what you're going to get week in, week out, right? And Gabe Davis gave us, the good, right? He gave us the good in this game, 130 yards, and he was dynamic, no doubt about it. But what are we getting this week from Gabe Davis, right? I wish that was consistent. It's not, and it's one of those things too where we're just like, it's head scratching because we see the ability on full display at times, and then we see nothing from him, the next week. It's odd, it's weird. I don't understand it when it comes to Gabe Davis, but all we can hope for, guys, is when we reach the playoffs, because I believe we will, we get the good out of Gabe Davis for the remainder of the playoffs and hopefully into the Super Bowl. That's what we need. All right, from Gabe Davis, that is. So, next up, stock down wide receiver Stefon Diggs. Man, he has been, guys, he's on this list way too much over the past month. While Diggs has had a great season for the Bills in terms of his overall numbers for the year, Saturday was the unfortunate continuation of a disturbing trend for him and Josh Allen within the Buffalo's offense. Against the Chargers, Diggs caught 5 of 8 targets for just 29 yards, 5.8, as Gabe Davis was the more explosive player by far within Buffalo's wide receiver corps. I agree. I have no idea what is going on. I have no idea what is going on with Stefon Diggs and Josh Allen, that connection. Over the past month, it has just gone away. I don't get it. That's more mind-boggling than the Gabe Davis thing. Because we know what Stefon Diggs is. We know that Stefon Diggs, week in, week out, is usually the best receiver on the field that day. But that hasn't been the case over the past month or so. It's wild. It's wild to see. He's also dropping catches, which is weird for him. And it just seems like he's having a tough time getting separation. So I'm almost thinking, is he dealing with some type of injury that he's not saying, or the Bills are not reporting? I find that hard to believe because they can get in trouble if they don't report an injury. But something's not right. Something's not right with Stefon Diggs and Josh Allen, or maybe it's just Stefon Diggs. I don't know. But what I do know is the lack of production that Stefon Diggs has been given this team over the past month. It's been bad, and I really don't have any answers when it comes to that, man. I can only speculate or think injury, or there's no way it's a chemistry thing, right? Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs have great chemistry. The connection's always been there. But like I said, lately, it's just lost. So you got to get we got to get Stefon Diggs back on track, especially into this playoff run that we're about to do, and because we will need him. You guys see when the running game isn't working as well as it was the week prior. You understand we need these guys to step up, the rest of the team. And that's what I was concerned about mostly after that James Cook performance against Dallas. I was telling you guys, you're not going to get that every week. That was a great game, career game for James Cook. But teams, certain teams are gonna be better at run defense, and they're going to dial in. And then we need our rest of the team to step up. The rest of especially our prime guy, our top guys, Stefon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid, right? We need these guys to step up, and it just seems like Stefon Diggs still is in a rut. I do not know what's going on. Now, luckily this game, Gabe Davis was that guy, and that was great to see. But imagine if Gabe Davis had another Gabe Davis weird performance where he just wasn't getting separation or he was dropping passes. This game might have swung the opposite direction and we lose 24-22. I'm just saying. So we need to figure out what's going on with this receiver corp and fix it, because the playoffs are near, and you can't. Stock up, linebacker Terrell Bernard. All right, let's see what they say about Terrell Bernard. Like Bernard has been doing all season, he was making plays all over the field on Saturday against the Chargers. In the absence of star linebacker Matt Milano, Bernard has stepped up for the Bills in a big way and is a big reason why Buffalo's defense is as good as it is right now. I agree, man. This guy's once again, man, blessing in disguise when it comes to Terrell Bernard. I did not think this kid was going to be what he is. I'll be honest with you. I'll eat crow on that. I didn't like the pick initially. I didn't think he did much his rookie year. In fact, when he got chances, I thought I didn't see anything that wowed me. And man, he really took on that challenge in the offseason. He won that job at middle linebacker, and he's kept it, and he's looked damn good this season. So, like I said, man, I'll always admit when I'm wrong about a player or coach. And I was wrong here. I think this guy is going to become one of the better linebackers in the NFL years to come. He's still young. He's still learning. But, man, if we didn't have him in the mix this season, we might be in bigger trouble. So, yeah, stock up linebacker for sure, Terrell Bernard for that. So, next up. Stock down, Leonard Floyd. He doesn't make this list much, so I'm not too concerned. Floyd has been having a great season for the Bills as he's picked up the pass rushing slack as Von Miller has been working his way back from knee injury. Against the Chargers, Floyd did not have much impact as part of the pass rush, but he has been doing that for Buffalo's throughout the entire season. Yeah, exactly. So, once again, man, I'm not going to... It's a game where, he didn't pick up a sack, but I still felt like he was involved. He still had pressures. But I don't even know about stock down. Honestly, I think I'll have to disagree there. I don't think it's a stock down for him. I would say neutral. I don't think his stock went up either. So I guess I'll disagree there with Bill's Wire on that one, because I still saw the pressure, him pressuring the quarterback, getting there. He just didn't get the sack. So I'm not going to give him a stock down because he didn't pick one up. All right, next up. Stock up, quarterback Josh Allen. While Allen did not have gaudy numbers from Saturday's win of the Chargers, it was clear that he did what was necessary to pull that game out for the Bills. Allen did throw an interception, but other than that, he was effective through the air and on the ground for a Buffalo team needing a spark. And I agree, man. Like, dude, go back, watch that third down completion to Khalil Shakir that ultimately set up the field goal to win the game. It was an unbelievable throw. And I think we're just so used to Allen making unbelievable plays that we're spoiled by it. And it's not a wow moment when he makes those kind of plays. But go back, watch that again. That play wasn't for Khalil Shakir initially. Allen under pressure, backpedaling, throwing off his back foot. What was that, about a 30-something yard pass? I mean, and he got it there somehow, some way, because he has that kind of an arm to do so. But, yeah, backpedaling, throwing off your back foot, usually never a good thing. But he completed it to Khalil Shakir, and it was damn close to being a touchdown. I mean, I'm talking milliseconds, of a touch compared to when Khalil Shakir's knee went off the ground. But at the end, that actually favored the Buffalo Bills that it wasn't a touchdown, because we got to pretty much kill the clock and score the winning field goal. So, but it was an unbelievable throw by Josh Allen. And still, there's other plays obviously in that game that wow me when I see them. But I notice, like I said, I notice myself at least, I'm not as, hyped up when I see that, because I've got accustomed to it, right? Like, it's just like the norm when it comes to Josh Allen and what he does on the football field. Like, he can go hurdle somebody again, and I'll just be like, damn, all right, cool, man. Like, but I guess that's just me. Like, I'm just so, it's like, it's not a surprise anymore, the things that Josh Allen could do on the football field, which is crazy because anybody else, any other quarterback making that play, is talked about. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people talked about that throw, and it's an unbelievable throw. All right, next up. Stock down. Oh, my God. Dalton Kincaid, tight end. While some of Kincaid's lack of production recently is due to the return of starting tight end Dawson Knox, Kincaid has not had nearly the impact that he was having once Knox was injured. To be fair, Buffalo's passing game has been pretty limited over the past 2 weeks. But if the Bills want to go anywhere this postseason, Kincaid has to be better. And see, I disagree. I disagree. I don't think it's a Kincaid issue. I think this is more of a Joe Brady / Sean McDermott issue. Because, listen, the proof is in the pudding. It's so obvious. When Dawson Knox was to start the season was we were doing the 12 personnel thing. We were trying to do it. And he was healthy and he was out there. Kincaid was being used the way he's being used now, which is short and underneath. Everything's short, underneath. Dawson Knox gets hurt. We go back to 11 personnel. Kincaid's route tree gets expanded, right? And what happens? Kincaid's numbers go up. The offense starts to look better. It starts to look like the 2022 offense, right? The 2021 offense. Like, it's starting to get back in that groove again of things. Then Dawson Knox returns, and the offense, once again, starts to sputter, right? Kincaid, back to short, underneath. It's not working, coaches. The 12 personnel, I know you want to do it. I was excited for it, but it's not working. And Kincaid, listen, I understand you're paying Dawson Knox big money. I get it. $14 million a season. But if you want to go by with what you always say, McDermott, which is the best man plays, no matter where you're drafted, no matter how much you're paid, then Kincaid should be the number one tight end. Kincaid should be more involved in the offense. And you should open up that route tree more and use Dawson Knox like you used him last year, and that's more of a blocking tight end. Stop with the 12 personnel. Kincaid should be on the field way more. And the short underneath stuff for Kincaid isn't working. It's not. And you're limiting him and his ability to help this team by doing that. You really are. It's a mistake, and the proof is there. Look at the numbers. There's no way that Kincaid, all of a sudden, his numbers dip so hard just for the hell of it. And right when Dawson Knox returned, like, what are the chances? It's because they're trying to force this 12 personnel. They're limiting him as a receiving tight end. And it's a mistake. It's a big mistake. They need to go back to the 11 personnel, figure it out. Because this Dawson Knox thing is not working out right now with the 12 personnel. I'm not saying bench Dawson Knox. I like Dawson Knox. But I think Kincaid needs to be on the field a little bit more, especially in passing plays. And he needs to be more than just a short underneath tight end. That's not why we drafted him. That's not why we drafted him, guys. That's not what he does best. What he does best is he's like a receiver. He's a hybrid type of receiver. He can go anywhere on the field anytime. He can go deep, short, medium pass route. It doesn't matter. Slants, curl. You can put him in a slot. We're underusing him. We're not using him correctly, and it's a mistake. It's a big mistake. And I hope to God that they eventually figure this out, and especially going into the playoffs, because it'll be a major mistake. All right, guys. Who else do I got stock down? Or stock up, actually. Stock up, stock down. You know who I'm going to give a stock up to? Just not that his numbers were unbelievable or anything. Leonard Fournette. Thought Leonard Fournette was his first game back. You know there's going to be rust there, right? And I thought Leonard Fournette did a fairly good job. 5 carries, 20 yards. I thought he should have got the ball more, especially at the end of that game on that last drive. I thought Fournette should have been the one carrying the rock, especially when you're going to run up the middle. James Cook had issues fumbling the ball there up the middle in that game, fumbled twice. Luckily, he got one back. But yeah, I felt like Leonard Fournette, like I said, man, with all that time off from football, to come in. Also, he did a good kick return. Like, I was impressed what I saw from Fournette with his limited playing time, basically. So I want to see more. I'm curious what they do with Fournette moving forward. But I like what I saw. So I'm going to say stock up just for the fact that he's been out of football for so long, and he performed pretty well. Stock down, and it's not on this list. I'm going to say the offensive line pass protection. I'm going to just say in a whole. I think everybody is to blame there. I think over the last 2 weeks, the pass protection, maybe even over the last 3 weeks, has been suspect. It's not been very good. I'm not saying it's been the worst, but it's starting to break down. More and more, it seems to be, in these games. So they got to do better. I've seen better from this team, from this offensive line. Their run blocking has gotten way better. I feel like the run blocking over the last month has drastically improved. Very good. But their pass protection has seemed to drop. It's just odd. It's like, and it used to be the other way. It used to be their pass protection was pretty damn good, and their run blocking was pretty bad. Now it seems like it's never balanced with this team for some odd reason. Just this team in general is just not balanced. It's a roller coaster. You never know what you're going to get week in, week out. So this offensive line has to be more balanced and start pass protecting better. So I'm going to say stock down on the pass protection, and I'm going to go stock up on the run blocking. I thought the run blocking was good again. So it's just odd, man. I'm going to go stock up. I'll go stock up Sean McDermott on this one, too. I thought he did a pretty good job coaching. Nothing that blew me away, but I thought he kept the team in check for the most part. The defense down the stretch handled their business. It wasn't perfect, but if you look at everything at a whole, with the turnovers and all that, the defense did a very good job holding the team to 22 points. They could they have done better, sure, but I thought for everything that happened with the turnovers, we should have lost that game. Because guys, if you go look at the stats, the team stats, because of the turnovers, 3 of them, we had no turnovers for the Chargers. Chargers had no turnovers. We had 2 fumbles lost and an interception. And we lost time of possession, 33 minutes to 26 minutes. So we should have, if you look at those stats, you would think the Chargers won that game. So you got to give credit there for McDermott getting his defense to step up, especially considering everything that I just talked about. So next up, which is the playoffs. How can we get into playoffs week 17? Well, we're going to go through that right now. All right, let's do it. So here's a way the Bills can clinch a playoff berth in week 17. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about it. All right, first up, there's a few ways. So number 1, Bills win, the Steelers lose or tie, and the Bengals lose or tie. Guys, that's a very big possibility. So, the this week, the Bengals, or the Steelers, let's start with the Steelers. The Steelers play the Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle's a streaky team, and they both got the same record, by the way. But the Seahawks are 5-2 at home. That's a tough place to play. And I think the Seahawks can pull a win, get a win out of that. So that's a good thing. And then the Bengals play KC in Kansas City, though the Chiefs haven't been playing very well. They're 4-4 at home, which is not very good. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. The Chiefs are, I feel, are still a better team right now than the Bengals because of Joe Burrow being out for the season. I just can't see the Bengals going into KC without Joe Burrow and pulling off a win. So, with that being said, I do think the Bills get into the playoffs because I think the Steelers lose and I think the Bengals lose. But let's say if that doesn't happen. Okay, let's get to the next one. Here's the second part. Here's number 2, another way Bills can get into the playoffs. A Bills win, a Steelers loss, and a Jaguars loss or tie, okay? Or Steelers loss or tie. There's another one. Another way. Okay, let's get to the third scenario. Bills win, Steelers loss or tie, Texans loss or tie, and the Colts loss or tie. So all that would need to happen for the Bills to get in if the first scenario don't happen. Number 4, Bills win, Bengals lose, Jaguars lose. Okay? And then number 5, Bills win, Bengals loss or tie, Texans loss or tie, and Colts loss or tie. So there is your scenarios, guys. So there's a big chance, guys, that this week the Buffalo Bills clinch a playoff spot. I really believe they will. All they got to, by the way, they got to win, obviously. But they are playing at home. They're playing against a Patriots team that is just not good right now. Now, I believe, didn't the Patriots just win? They helped us out by beating Denver, actually, this past weekend. So, listen, when you play the Patriots, you still got to, you can't take them lightly. You still got to play at your best. It's still a Bill Belichick defense. You got to respect. You got to respect that. They did beat Denver in Denver, right? So, they still got a decent little squad when they want to be, right? When they want to play hard, they'll give you a fight. You could be in a dogfight real quick with the New England Patriots. And look what we just did against the Chargers, right? We were in a dogfight all the way up until the end, and that's the Chargers, guys, right? Who I feel are, even with Easton Stick, have better weapons right now on offense than the New England Patriots. But the New England Patriots it's a division game. They got one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in NFL history. It's not going to be a steamroll game, right? But the Buffalo Bills have a couple things going for them. 1, it's a home game, right? Bills Mafia is going to be electric. 2, they understand what's at stake here. They get it. If not, they better. But I'm pretty sure they do. They understand they got to win. They got to win all these games. And right now we're 2 away from accomplishing that goal that was set back when we all knew we had to win 5 games in a row, pretty much, to get into the playoffs. Well, it might really be 4 because of what's been going on over the past 2 weeks with the AFC. I still think the ultimate goal should be 5, regardless if we clinch a playoff spot or not. I think Baltimore is going to beat Miami this weekend, which would mean Week 18 could possibly set up a AFC East division title game, a showdown. That's it. The winner takes the AFC East Week 18. If Baltimore winds up beating Miami and we win versus the Patriots. And I have a feeling that is exactly what's going to happen. Also, by the way, seeding. We could potentially be the number 2 seed going into the playoffs, which will give us 2 home games in the playoffs. So, guys, it's a big, big deal. And the Buffalo Bills need to take care of business. Stefon Diggs needs to find a way to get separation. They need to incorporate him more into the offense. Figure a way. I don't know what's going on there. The rest of the receivers need to wake the fuck up. I think Khalil Shakir should get more opportunities. I really do. I kind of feel like sometimes they go away from him too much. And he's been a reliable option at wide receiver. And I feel sometimes we just go away from him. I would honestly, man, at this point, also with the fumbling by Hardy, who hasn't done anything on offense anyways, I would be willing, I'd be totally willing and okay with Andy Isabella being called back up and taking that spot from him, because Andy Isabella on offense in preseason looked pretty sharp. Deontay Hardy hasn't done anything, including preseason. So I've seen nothing from Hardy, that gets my confidence that he's going to do anything for this team. And now he's fumbling on punt returns. It's unacceptable. So I wouldn't mind seeing Isabella. I actually wouldn't even mind seeing Justin Shorter come in for Trent Sherfield, who's once again another guy who I was excited for when the Bills signed him. Hasn't done jack shit. Nothing. He is a waste of space. And I hate to say it, it may not even be his issue. It just may be he doesn't fit in this offense kind of thing. Because I don't think he's that bad. But he's been bad for this team. So why not give like Justin Shorter an opportunity? Worst thing that happens is he doesn't play well. Okay. Well, neither has Trent Sherfield. So I don't know. I'm just throwing some scenarios out there, what I would like to see. Will they do that? Probably not. Probably not. What we're seeing right now in the field is what we're going to probably have in the playoffs. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned that, but Daquan Jones should be returning soon. Kyer Elam, is officially back from IR. Curious what they do with him. Though I still don't think they're going to dress him on game day, but you never know. With all the injuries, they may, But yeah, man, the good thing right now for the Buffalo Bills, one is that we are winning games. Two, we have an opportunity to clinch a playoff spot no matter what this week if we win and a couple teams lose. And three, we're starting to get healthier. Guys are starting to return from IR. Obviously we won't get some guys back like Trey White, like Matt Milano, but guys like Daquan Jones are returning, which is huge for us. And then other guys are starting to get healthier. Josh Allen with that shoulder seems to be pretty much healed up. Our offensive line is healthy, knock on wood. So, yeah, let's just keep that going. Let's keep that healthy thing going because we will need these guys to be at their best going into the playoffs, which is very, very soon, guys. So, Bills Mafia, by the way, tune in this Friday for Friday Night Lights at 8:30. We have a special guest joining us, and we'll have an announcement on this channel. We got some new voices coming to the Mafia Sports Report very, very soon, and we're gonna talk about that Friday night. So you don't want to miss that. So Bills Mafia, I love you, and as always, go Bills. Peace.